Welcome to Combat Zone 360, where we're discussing everything military. Today on our show, we have the Marine Recruiting Office here in Staten Island. Joining me is Staff Sergeant Osario and Private First Class Lowry. So, how are you guys doing today?
I'm doing good today. How are
Doing
you?
well.
All right, good. Well, I know you guys are here within the community. You're from the community,
Yes, sir.
and you're actually here recruiting for the Marine Corps in the community.
Yes, sir.
Yep. So I know our viewers would love to get to know a little bit about yourselves. So if you could start us off by telling us a little bit about where you grew up, how you grew up, and what you did as a child and in high school.
Okay. Well, I was born and raised in the Bronx up until about 13 years old. And then I ended up moving out into Queens, where I attended high school and everything. My time coming up in the Bronx, my mother was a strong influence in my life. My stepfather was, that authoritarian figure, told me what was right, what was wrong.
Like all fathers.
As they should do, right?
That's right.
And, I grew up taking care of my younger siblings. I had 2 younger siblings. I had 3 older siblings, so I'm like right there in the middle. And, I used to go out to the park with my friends, my little brothers. We used to play basketball, play baseball. And then in my high school years, I kind of hit that awkward phase, started playing Magic the Gathering, trading card games, comic books, still a passion that I carry to this day. That's pretty much it right there. And then moving into high school, I started to formulate who I was, became more independent, started seeking out things that were going to make me a little more independent, because I felt like I grew up depending on others.
Okay. More of a follower, not a leader?
Yeah.
Okay. And what did you do in high school? Any sports or anything?
I did, actually. I did quite a few sports. So I was on the track team.
Okay. What did you run?
I used to run the 600.
Okay.
I was more of a long distance. I was more of a long distance runner than a sprinter.
As myself back in my younger years. Yep.
And I tried tennis. I didn't like it too much. It was too complicated for me. But I did pick up fencing, bowling, swimming, anything to keep me out of the house, pretty much.
Jack of all trades, master of none, huh?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. And what about you?
I was born and raised here, Staten Island, New York, my whole life. I graduated from Wagner High School back in 2015. I was on the soccer and softball team. I've been playing those sports ever since I can remember. I've been playing probably since 5 years old. I enlisted back in January, so right out of high school. I didn't go right into the Marine Corps. I tried out college for a few years, realized,
How many's a few years?
about 3 years.
3 years? So you never finished that 4th one, huh?
I did not, no. A good friend of mine who was actually in the Marine Corps, she had come home and took me down to the office. My father, my older brother, and my grandfather, they're all Marines, so they definitely had a big influence on my decision to enlist. So it was probably one of the best decisions of my life so far.
I got some history with the Marine Corps, too.
Yes.
I mean, my dad was a Marine.
Oh, yeah?
And then I smartened up and went into the Army, but, it's all good.
There's always one.
Playing around. Everybody has their part to play. Everybody's important. Yeah. So do you thank your friend nowadays for?
I do, always,
Yeah?
yes.
Good.
Yeah.
So are you planning on going back and finishing out college?
I am. I did enlist into the reserves, so once I'm done with my next Marine combat training and MLS school, I will head back to CSI and continue school from there.
Nice.
Yes.
Good. Well,
So-
at least, you're doing the reserves so you can concentrate on the future and get your college degree out of the way. So what job did you choose?
I am motor transportation, so
Motor T.
motor T.
That's what my dad was.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah,
All right. Yeah.
looking forward to it.
Nice. Okay. So I understand that, a lot of people, they join different ways.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of people don't understand. I joined for my personal reasons. Some people join for service of country. Some people join for college money. Some people join just to get out of this place they live in. So what drove you to join the Marine Corps?
It was a combination of a lot of those things. I remember one of those key moments in my life when I was in high school. I remember September 11, 2001, and I was a freshman in high school. I remember seeing it on the news. It was during my lunch period. The freshman, we had early lunch. So it was all over the news, and it was just an image that you can't really get out of your head because, you grow up thinking that, you're in the greatest city here in the United States and you're untouchable. And to see that just kind of made it real, because before that, war, hate, discontent, all those things that you read about in the history books, they're abstract.
Yep.
So that was one of those key factors. And then as a freshman, I started doing my homework. I did JROTC in high school. And, I saw service to my country as, that's something that everyone should get the opportunity to do.
And I was also, noticed that, because I was actually out in the field in Fort Lewis, Washington, when 9/11 happened.
Okay.
And I heard it on the radio. And history tells us that, recruiting numbers went way up during that time. Everybody wanted to join a branch of service, and it was that passion that really brought this country together to motivate individuals to join, and what drove you? I know your friend brought you to the office and introduced you to the recruiters. So who got you, who told you something that you just really loved to hear?
So the number one thing that really drove me to want to be a Marine was my older brother. Back in 2015, when he graduated from Paris Island, I went with my family and we were there, and there was just something about it that I just saw myself doing it, and I couldn't stop thinking about it. Ever since I got home, I would look up the Marine Corps and see everything about it, and it was just so motivating being there. I couldn't see myself doing anything else. I went back to school, and just the whole time I was there, I was like, this, right now at least, this isn't for me. I was like, I know I want to become a Marine, and I went down to the office, and that's where it all began. And
it's a good thing.
It was a great experience.
Definitely. Your dad, your brother, they had that type of influence on you, positive influence.
Definitely.
A lot of families don't have those positive influences, especially here in New York City, throughout the boroughs. It's difficult for some. They don't know their path that they need to take or want to take, and I'm hoping this will definitely help them out. Now I know that, you haven't been in the Marine Corps for long at all.
No.
How long have you been out of basic training?
I
or boot
graduated
camp?
last Friday.
Last Friday?
Yeah. So about
okay,
a week.
so you really don't have much of a Marine history.
Not yet. No.
Just boot camp for the Marines. But let us know a little bit about your Marine history, what you went through within the years that you've been in the Marines.
Okay. So I graduated recruit training back in 2005.
Okay.
And then from there, I went, instead of going to MCT, Marine Combat Training, like all non-combat MOSs do, or non-combat jobs, I chose a combat job. I enlisted infantry. I wanted to be that Marine on the poster. I wanted to challenge myself and push myself, so I chose infantry. So I went to the School of Infantry. I graduated in January 5th, 2006, and I checked into my reserve unit. So I went to the reserves, looking to go to school and continue my education that way. And then, I did the reserves for a few years, and then in 2008, my unit out here in New York, we were activated. We were activated in April of 2008.
Wow.
We went over to Iraq. We were on we got broken up between, the big base in the El Anbar province, the north part of Iraq, right on the Syrian border.
Yeah, I was over in Kirkuk.
Kirkuk?
Yep,
Okay.
Yep, so not far.
And, I actually rather enjoyed my time. Going out there, never have been really leaving the country. I was a little nervous at first. I think most individuals are. Went out there, I was with a good group of Marines. The locals there were very welcoming. They were glad to have someone there, looking out for them, because we provided security. When we got the chance, we went out on patrols, delivered food, medicine, more humanitarian stuff than anything. I was fortunate enough not to have been in a combat situation. But even then, I was trained to be prepared if that would ever be the case.
Exactly, just like all Marines.
Yep.
Yes, no matter what job you do in the Marine Corps, you're trained to be a Marine, and you're trained to protect yourself if need be.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, nice. So what have you done besides that?
Okay.
Tell us a little bit about your recruiting history here since you've been recruiting?
So I've been recruiting since 2016.
Okay.
At first, I was a recruiter out in Long Island, so the Hempstead area. Pretty nice area. People were very welcoming and stuff like that. I got the opportunity to work with students and teachers and faculty. I think that's what I find the most rewarding. Just being able to kind of influence those individuals, provide them that information necessary for them to make a life-changing decision, whether or not this is a route for them, because it's not for everyone.
No.
But we're looking for a few good men and women to fill this uniform.
There you go. It's all about educating the community.
Yes.
Yes. So if somebody came into your recruiting office and actually wanted information, what could they expect?
So the first thing they can expect is we ask a lot of screening questions. We want to make sure that we're taking the time out to sit with someone who's qualified. I don't want to sit down with you for half an hour, 45 minutes, waste your time if you don't meet the basic qualifications.
What are some of those qualifications?
So we have education qualifications.
Okay.
Those individuals, you have to be at least a senior in high school, at least 17 years of age, and then be on track to graduate. We're limited on GEDs. We'll take GEDs as long as you have 15 or more college credits.
Okay.
But we usually stick to high school graduates.
Gotcha. What about, I know there's tough screeners for medical.
Yes.
What are some disqualifiers that would disqualify people from joining the Marine Corps?
So one of the big disqualifiers would be any asthma, any history of asthma, any major body injuries where you have limited mobility or you're limited in your physical capabilities.
Gotcha.
Another disqualifier could be any history of mental health issues, depression, attention deficit disorder into your adult years, things like that. Any learning disabilities can also disqualify you.
Now, are there ways around that, as in waivers that could get approved if possible?
Yes. So, yes, there is. And a lot of those waivers stem on how does it affect you in this day? Because, growing up, my younger siblings a lot, they were diagnosed with ADD and asthma and stuff like that. And as long as it's past, it's 7 years or older, and that's 7 years in the past, not when you're 7 years old. But anything older than 7 years, and then you're able to show a current history of being good. A current physical, let know from the doctor. The doctors at the processing center will request additional documentation. So you want to provide as much information possible, so we can validate that. So we can pretty much make a case for you as to why you should be considered.
Okay. And after somebody joins the Marines, and you guys call your future Marines pulleys, correct?
Yes, we call them pulleys.
Okay. So after they become a pulley, what could they expect?
So once they're found mentally and physically qualified, they enlist, they take the oath of enlistment, and they're considered pulleys until they ship to recruit training. So as a pulley, there's a few things, me as a station commander, that I expect of you.
Okay.
Myself and my Marines are going to do everything in our power to prepare you both mentally and physically. Mental preparation is just getting you in the mindset that, you are no longer an individual. You have to work as part of a team. And I mean, a lot of kids nowadays, they grow up, everyone is, you're a star, you're important, and we're not taking that away from you. But you need to understand that joining the military is you becoming part of a team, and you have to take care of the team, and you can't be just out for yourself.
Okay. And I know you guys need to do some type of physical test before you guys join the Marines and sign your paperwork down at the military entrance processing building, correct?
Yes. So you do it after you do that as part of the physical preparation.
Okay. And what do they need to be able to do before they go on to boot camp?
So we call the process, it's called the initial strength test, an IST. And what it consists of a max set of pull-ups, a max set of abdominal crunches, and a max set of dead hang pull-ups. A 1.5 mile run.
Gotcha. And how many pull-ups do they have to do to be able to ship off to boot camp?
Minimum will be 3 pull-ups.
Okay.
And for crunches, it's going to be 44 crunches in 2 minutes. And for run time, you have to be able to run 1.5 miles in 13 minutes and 30 seconds.
So once they become a Marine, now I know the physical fitness test becomes a lot harder.
It does.
Okay, so what could they expect out of that? Where would they need to be physically coming out of boot camp?
Yeah, so recruit training does an excellent job of preparing them. So as long as you're meeting those basics, the 13:30 run, the 3 pull-ups, and the 44 crunches in that time frame, by the time you graduate recruit training, you're going to be doing a lot more. So your pull-ups and your crunches, the requirement remains the same, and those are the minimum requirements. Those will remain the same. The only thing that's going to change is instead of running 1.5 miles, you're going to end up running 3 miles. That 3 miles you have to be able to complete in less than 28 minutes.
Okay, so a lot of physical training there,
Yes.
which every branch has, and that's good because we definitely do need to be in physical shape to do our jobs. So I know you guys have pulley functions.
Yes.
Right, on Saturdays, or when do you guys do yours?
So we do our pool functions the second Saturday of every month.
Okay. And what could they expect to do during those?
So it's going to be very intense. We're going to demand a lot of participation. Participation is going to be key. One of the secrets to surviving or being successful at recruit training, there's 3 things: so speed, volume, and intensity.
Nice.
If you do everything with a sense of urgency, you give the drill instructors 100% effort. You do that by sounding off. So you're gonna acknowledge them. You're gonna yell at the top of your lungs if you have to. And intensity, just be intense in everything that you do. Give all your effort. They see you straggling, that's gonna cause individual attention. And you don't want individual attention.
I've seen some videos on Facebook with
Yes.
the Marine pulley functions, and it's pretty intense, But it's exciting. It's exciting.
It is.
Young men and women do love that type of attention sometimes.
It's very rewarding, and it prepares you for life.
So when somebody does end up joining the Marine Corps and they end up becoming a Marine, what type of benefits can they look at gaining out of boot camp?
I mean, we have a wide range of benefits. There's financial benefits. You have a steady paycheck. We get paid on the 1st and the 15th. We work. We all get paid, regardless of the service, off the Department of Defense pay scale.
Okay.
So, it's a graduated pay scale. So the longer that you're in, the higher you move up in your rank, the more you'll get paid, regardless of specific MOS, specific job. So
Gotcha.
I can be a plumber, and she can be a motor transportation. She can be a truck driver. We're going to get paid the same if we're the same rank.
Gotcha. What about medical, dental, other benefits like that? That's going to help them and their families.
Yes. So medical and dental is a big one. So you're covered as the service member. You're covered 100% medical and dental for yourself and your dependents. So if you end up having a spouse and immediate family, kids. They will be covered 100%.
That's good.
It is.
It's really good. I know throughout my 21 years in the Army, my family took full advantage of that, and it was a good benefit to have, especially with the kids growing up and getting into a lot of trouble and getting hurt and these bumps and bruises and not needing to worry about anything.
Yeah, especially with my first son, newborn, a new father. Anytime he got sick, I was like, okay, let's go. I didn't have to worry about, medical bills or anything like that.
Exactly. That's really positive. So you just ended up getting out of boot camp 10 days ago,
I
right?
did, yes.
So if you could, definitely let our viewers know what boot camp is about. What are you going through when you're there? What excitement?
So the excitement. Boot camp was definitely an experience. I found it more mental than physical. I feel like my recruiters definitely got me as ready as I can physically wise through pool functions, running ISTs, getting us ready. When you get down there, I was very nervous at first, but you find that motivation to keep going. You have to go into it knowing like it's going to challenge you. If it's going to be tough. It wasn't made to be easy. So going down there, it definitely did change me as a person because now I feel like you gain confidence I feel like I've gained confidence that I didn't have going into new things, and it changed me for the better. When you get down there, you do have to pass the IST, the initial strength test, and you eventually work your way up to passing the PFT, which is the 3 mile. Now, when you get down there, they don't just throw you into running a 3 mile. They, like every day at PT, you'll run a little bit more, and you'll run 2 miles, 2.5 miles, and you work your way up. So they definitely help you in a way. You know, it's not just throwing you into something new, and so it definitely. It was a good experience.
So they build you up to it.
Yes, they definitely build you up, because in the end, they want to see you succeed, and that's what they do.
And I tell everybody before they went to Army boot camp, don't take anything personal.
Yep.
It's all business.
Yes, that was the one thing my brother.
They don't know you from anything.
Yes.
You know, they're just trying to prepare you for the future. Mm-hmm. Yep, trying to make you the best Marine you can, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Definitely.
All right. So, what is a typical day in the Marines?
So a typical day in the Marines, depending on what you do for work. So your typical day is you're going to wake up. You're going to wake up around 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. If you are working in a section where you do section PT, physical training, so you'll work out in the morning with your section. You'll go out, eat breakfast, and then you'll head to work. So as an administrative specialist, you would come into the office, and pretty much it's like a 9 to 5, 9 to 6, more or less.
So good. So just like a basic job on the evenings, it's their own day. They can do whatever. They can go to the movies. They can go eat dinner with their families. They can really do whatever they want. They can even go veg out in front of the TV and watch their shows. Yeah, that's good. But really quick, if you could, I would love to know, because everybody out here knows that with the good times come the bad times.
Okay.
I would love to know each of your guys' worst time in the Marines or in boot camp, and the best experience that you've had in the Marines and boot camp. So,
I want to say one of the most miserable times I've had in the Marine Corps was right before we left to Iraq. We do something called Mojave Viper.
Okay.
So it's a exercise to get us ready for a combat environment. It's high stress, high volume, and it's out in the Mojave Desert. Hence the name.
Out in 29 Palms, right?
29 Palms.
Yes, I was actually born there.
Oh, I feel sorry for you.
Oh, yes, yes.
So actually grew to love the area, but it is miserably hot during the day.
Very much so. What about boot camp for you?
So one of the toughest things probably was the hike back from the Crucible. It was definitely challenging because you've been up for a long time, you're tired, there's a lot going through your head, but you find that motivation to keep pushing, because once you know that hike back, you only have, there's just a few more hours until you officially earn that title Marine. So as tough as it is going through it, you just have to keep thinking, in just a few more hours, I will be a Marine. So you find that drive to keep going.
And how many miles is that?
The hike back is a 9-mile hike. So overall, the Crucible is 54 hours.
Okay.
The final test of 54 hours. So you're up. It's a lot, but that 9-mile hike was challenging, but it's
gratifying. Though.
Yes, definitely.
Very gratifying.
Yes.
Yes. No, trust me. I've been on some adventures in the Army, and trust me, when you're done with them, it lets you know that there are things that can be done that you never thought you could do it. And they're so gratifying, and
definitely.
Makes you more humble as a person too, because it brings you down a notch. Going, whew, that was rough. So, what about your best experience?
One of my best experiences, it has to tie in because I don't love the heat as much.
Of course, yeah.
I did annual training in Africa. We were out there for 3 weeks.
Nice.
And I was in Senegal. Senegal, if you've never been there, it's the northwestern part of Africa. It's pretty much desert if you're not by the shore. And one of the most rewarding experiences out there is we did what we call a med pack, where we go out, deliver food, medicine to some of the local villages, and just the amount of gratitude there on the little boys and girls from the villages, because they would dig through the trash to find food. And it was a very eye-opening experience. It gave me a lot of perspective, but just being able to share my food with them and sit down and talk to them, it was a very enriching experience for me.
Made you appreciate the smaller things in life, huh?
It did.
Oh yeah, I've experienced that too. And what about you for boot camp?
So the most rewarding thing was definitely getting my eagle orbit anchor. it made me realize that those 3 months, it was all for something that just paid off in the end. And being able to call my family on Liberty Sunday and tell them like I'm a Marine and all that hard work finally paid off. And there's a reason for everything that they do down there. It may not seem like it at the time, but at the end of the day, once you're walking across that parade deck on graduation day, there's no better feeling. And seeing your
Definitely.
family after a long 3 months of only handwritten letters, and it's very rewarding.
Well, just know you got a lot more graduations to go through because you got a lot more schools to go through with the Marine Corps.
Yes, sir.
You know, so that's good. That's really good. So if the viewers wanted to get a hold of you guys, how would they get a hold of you guys?
So the best way to get a hold of us is to either walk into our office,
And where are you guys located?
45 Bay Street,
Okay, over there in the post office?
right in the post office building.
Okay.
Yes, that's the best place to reach us. We also have, our phone numbers. They're posted on the website. You can reach Marines.com is another great way.
Okay.
Instantaneous email we reach out to you immediately.
Nice, nice. You know, I would love to definitely have you guys back sometime in the future. Maybe bring some pulleys,
Okay.
and some other recruiters so they could tell their experience so we can get them out into the community. And before we go, do you guys have any upcoming events in the community where our viewers could come and see you guys?
So we have our pool function this coming this November, the second Saturday of November. We'll be doing a hike in the through the Greenbelt.
Okay.
So as long as you're interested, you're welcome to stop by the office, get some information, sign a liability release form, and they're welcome to join us.
Nice, nice. That'd be a good experience to kind of figure out what everything's about.
Yep.
We would definitely love to get, more events going on out in the community. I know the Army does a lot with the community. I know the Marines do a lot with the community. All the branches out here do a lot in the community, and I know they appreciate it. I know I appreciate it, and I would love to thank you guys for your service. You guys have a long career coming up. I know you have how many years left?
I have about at least 9 years.
At least 9
least
years? Do a couple extra
few
after
extra.
you're 20?
Bonus points,
Okay. And you just started.
I just started.
You're just a baby in the Marine Corps.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, yes, once again, thank you guys for coming.
Thank you for having us.
We'll definitely set up a time where we can bring some of the pulleys in here so they can, let us know what drove them to join and what their main influence was. And it might be their recruiter. We never know.
You never know.
That would be amazing. Is there anything you would like to put out there, that out to the community that, would really get them to see just the Marines in a different light? I know some people have a positive look on it. Some people have a negative look.
I think the best thing to do is, take the time out, speak to a Marine. They can share their stories, their experiences. I know Staten Island's a great Marine community. We even have a Marine Corps League here on the island. We do a lot of community service with them as well. Reach out to us. We have scholarships. We have, career opportunities available through us. So just next time you see a Marine, walk up and shake a hand.
Nice. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And just remember, when you hear about a pulley with the Marines, it's actually somebody who's getting ready to go to boot camp. So they're getting ready to serve their country also. And just know, when you go up and talk to a Marine and shake their hand, not everybody's going to have the same story. Some people are going to have bad influences. Some people are going to have very positive influences within the Marine Corps. So it's a really good outlook to learn about it on your own if it's something you are interested in. And if you are, please reach out to them. I'd really like, thank you guys for viewing in. And hopefully we get to do this again with them. Thank you very much.